and are we are back for another block of matches at 15 UTC, where there are a lot more matches this week, this hour. And we have already been through several of matches, but unfortunately there's one match, Morsa versus Leon, unfortunately forfeited in this case, so I do believe we will be streaming something else. Currently it's now still Morsa and versus Leon, but this match currently would not be streamed on this place because unfortunately Morsa forgot he has 2 matches this weekend and Leon cannot afford to delay the match by another hour, so Leon will be winning by default in this current states here. And I do believe we will be streaming the other match, which is ParasolTree versus DarkMew2. We will be updated plan shortly, and once again it's me, Youngin, and and I'll be commentating with my streamer and also Mapu at the same time. He is doing currently 2 different roles. So, part 2, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not doing so well. I need to change the layout on the stream. So
okay,
yeah,
yeah, take your time. But yeah, pretty 2 good players. I'm pretty sure we have already heard of these 2 players before. ParasolTree, kind of similar case to IMEE, more like an FC guy. But you have asked this guy to FC, he will FC a lot of the maps. He is quite consistent after all the time. In DarkMew2, yesterday got bullied by a bit in the high density picks, but other than that, some of the technical picks and such, he performed extremely well on. So probably still be seeing DarkMew2 banning out some of the more density picks and going for more of the coordinations and technical stuff. We got our stuff ready here, and Protect will be coordination 2 from ParasolTree and technical 1 from DarkMew2. So 2 more technical players actually going to be protecting some of the more technical picks, and they are going to be both banning out the density pick. So ParasolTree, a real actual LM player, more focused on LN after all, and this show in this year's Mania World Cup performed really well on most of the LM picks. He's more of an FC guy, like I mentioned though, so avoiding some of the more higher density, more weighted picks, of course, as expected, and DarkMew2 as well, more of a technical kind of a guy, seems like, compared to the last match, losing out some of the more denser picks against Arrow last yesterday. So losing out on density 3, so of course spending out density 2 on his case here. And we do see our first pick being selected, and what happens when you get 2 more niche players up against each other, and that means they will be instantly going for the coordination and pick the weirdest map of the pool.
Yeah, thanks for filling in.
Alright, but yeah, ParasolTree did say he is going to be side reading this pick though, so he probably has no idea what he is in for, and no idea why a lot of players has been banning on this pick. But knowing this guy though, being a more like an LMVD's focused guy rather than your density focused guy, so managed to do very well on this pick. I mean, despite the low BPM where a lot of players struggle on, these low BPM are not really that big of a deal for him so far. Still holding on 99.9%, and DarkMew2 still a bit fallen behind, but 99.81 on this map is still amazing because this map is so slow to get a good accuracy. And yeah, meanwhile, we do have our, because this map is so long, we'll be also feeling, of course, we're gonna give some news to the other match. We do have Gazelle versus GB MMTTYY 233 on the Chinese stream. So if you are interested in the other match, please do go check it out. And we already linked it to the Discord announcement, so if you do want to see the other match, please go up ahead on stream announcement. And of course, there's also one more match, which is going to be Melsa vs Leon. It was unfortunately cancelled because Melsa did not remember he is in the lower brackets and he has 2 matches to play. So we'll be on to I would say possibly the biggest names of today's this block of matches.
Yeah, I think it's actually quite surprising to see ParasolTree nailing this pick as good as they are right now. 99.88, I did not really expect ParasolTree to be sharp shooting this pick to this extent, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. ParasolTree, you probably did not expect such a high accuracy from this player, but I felt I don't want to sound like that, but every time I see a Chinese player, they are so good at weird maps. It's kind of like that in every game mode. I don't know, it's my stereotype against for Chinese players, but usually Chinese players are absolutely fantastic at like weird maps, despite even they are like consistent, like mechanical types of player. And we do see that in this case, he is still holding on extremely well in coordination 1, and I guess that's why he just went in this map blind. Don't care about anyone else and just go for this pick. Still holding on such a crazy score. This is definitely gonna be top 3 score of the weekend for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really interesting that you remark that Chinese players are good at like niche maps, because like every single map of this map was like pretty unique in its own regard. So it's kind of up to each and every player to kind of acquaint themselves to every single pick and what it has to provide. And yeah, this one is like no exception. DarkMew on a pretty decent run on the track of a 990k, but that's not going to be enough against ParasolTree. ParasolTree did lose a bit of accuracy coming from the 99.88, now 99.83, but still a pretty substantial advantage over DarkMew.
Yeah, absolutely. I did see this map being banned out the most, so that's why I call it the weirdest out of all. And in general, I know that players kind of hate playing low BPM stuff. It's just kind of how it goes. Rhythm gameplay likes to play it quick. It's like that thing slow. Especially all the release requirements on this map gives us a lot harder for players to work on. So, 200 play, 218. Not as good as what we saw against one of the best players in the entire world, which is Nepajin playing this map, but still, that is definitely a top 3 score and a half.
Yeah, honestly, like this score might not be representative of any other pick that we're gonna see in this pool, but honestly, ParasolTree is right now like really impressed on their own performance. So probably a fluke, but a welcome fluke to be had, because it nets them the point against DarkMew2 with also a very decent score. Like 5-200 is like a pretty low 200 count, all things considered, considering the nature of the map itself.
Moving on to technical 2 though, missing. So MSG jokes aside, this is a pretty technical pick. I would say every time I've seen this map, despite being 3 minutes, but there are few, I would say 2 sessions of the map. Actually, no, 1 session of the map being a lot harder, which I do see the most drop, especially the last part, the last 30% or so. Like after the break, the map gets a lot harder, and we always see player miss on that part if they were not prepared about it. And very shield focus, and also having a lot of anchors throughout the entire map. You see how these 2 players does, and hopefully ParasolTree is not side-reading any more maps.
Yeah, hopefully those players won't go missing in the second half. But right now we are pretty much at a tie between the 2 players. ParasolTree having the slightest lead over the 439 combo mark. But let's go into the actual KI, and we see those accuracy stabilized furthermore, but both of those players right now on the same pace.
Yep, so far, still a pretty close map, and the DarkMew2 will be the one heading in the lead by 1,000 points, so definitely see why they decided to go for this pick. And again though, I do believe the second half is the part where the map really spikes up a lot, and we might see some misses if players were not consistent. I do believe ParasolTree should be the one in the lead right now, as he has taken over DarkMew2 in terms of accuracy. As I say that though, he does drop a 200, so given that, it's gonna be back to even plays, probably a 52 points or 38 points in the lead in favor of ParasolTree, and players will be reaching to a break and see that score difference.
Yeah, honestly, there's no telling who is going to come on top of this point at all. Like, they are neck and neck. They are literally 52 points apart from one another. That's incredible.
And not only that, both players were able to see each other score because there was a break there. It's gonna give a heart attack to anyone who wasn't prepared, but I do believe ParasolTree should be tiny bit ahead, as extended to around probably 100 points, but still, it's still anyone's game. They were so close, but we're soon reaching to the hardest part of the map as the intensity of the map spikes up, and this is where we might see a player misses or drop accuracy on.
Yeah, ParasolTree dropping to the level of DarkMew. DarkMew, who has already dropped some accuracy, but right now they are tied. They are neck and neck. And who is going to come on top of this point? It is DarkMew's pick after all.
It's anyone's game. I do believe DarkMew2 probably ahead by 200 because we're starting to see ParasolTree falling off in the harder section of the map, start dropping 200s left and right, but the map just kind of doesn't stop until the end, so you need to hold on to the last part, and I do believe DarkMew2 is successfully has built to 1,000 points in the lead, so first time we see a 4-digit scores difference since the start of the map, and I do believe DarkMew has hold on long enough and takes his own point, and what a close map. It was anyone's game until the last part of the map.
Oh my god. It was 52 points apart in the break, and I hope that those players realize that they are absolutely neck and neck right now. Like, they can compare their identical, like literally identical ratios right now, and I feel like the 4 200s caught by ParasolTree was in the last, like the back half of the map. As you say, it is a very progressive type of map, and a lot of those 200s can be caught on the later half. Unfortunately for ParasolTree, 1-1 between the two players.
A very close match so far, and I have never seen a ratio being so close in a match before. So absolutely crazy score for these two players. We'll see what ParasolTree pick next though. Seemingly they are trying to avoid more the density picks. I do believe coordination 3 should be the pick they will go for, and of course they are going to be selecting that pick, going for the more not consistency, more dump heavy map. Part 2, as you are an actual mania mapper and puller, would you call this map like a meta map? Can you explain a bit to the crowd right now?
Okay, so this pick in particular, like Coordination 3, is the quote-unquote timing hell slot, so to speak. It is a lot of interactions between dump mapping and then also shield interactions. So it's like kind of a back and forth. It kind of plays with the flow of the song itself, and it's like pretty comfortable to play. And I feel like it's been one of players' favorite picks so far.
Yeah, this pick and Wildcard 3. Wildcard 3 was so popular yesterday that it's almost like first pick or like first 3 picks in like every match. It's literally every match I saw they pick it as their first pick. So I apologize there. So a bit more popular pick, probably the second most popular pick so far throughout the entire weekend. And I was gonna say DarkMew2 was ahead in terms of accuracy, but a bit of an accuracy dip there on that before the chorus. So now they're basically head to head again. But seems like ParasolTree has win out a bit in the chorus sections, the dump heavy section.
Yeah, seems a bit more consistent on the choruses. DarkMew catching a few 200s in that chorus, but still towing ParasolTree right on their tail right now. Just ParasolTree just has to be careful, not like look behind just look behind, just speed up a little bit. That's what they're doing right now, rising up to 99.84. DarkMew is still losing some accuracy in the courses.
Yeah, do be careful about some of the more denser section of the map though. This is what it feels like a double BPM style of a song. Quite similar to last weekend, a bit of a timing hell, a bit of a 1618 releases for the entire map, and it's easy to call the players in terms of accuracy, as we do see ParasolTree dropping a 200 there, and the lead is back to 3-digit once again. It's anyone's game, cannot find a break on any of these shields, or it will instantly flip towards to the other side.
Yeah, we are around the 99.78 territory between the two players. It is up to the last chorus. It is up to the last chorus whether ParasolTree or DarkMew is going to come out on top of this pick. And I think like DarkMew getting this breakpoint would be pretty substantial strategically for their own well-being.
Yeah, last part of the map, and we do see ParasolTree still keeping on the lead by a tiny bit, and this tiny bit winning by a hair margin is gonna be letting him take the second point on his own pick. It's the great differences. This time the DarkMew2 did win the ratio battle, but they lose on the 200 battle, the misjudgment battle. So ParasolTree will be moving on the second point of the match.
Yeah, how does it feel to have the exact same ratio as your opponent, but it all plays down to the 200s? It all plays down to the 200s. Like, I feel like the ratio ability is kind of natural. You kind of just vibe and just have your own, like, skill set. But the 200s come and go with nerves and tournament pressure, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. You see what DarkMew2 go for next one. I do believe technical should be what he goes for, and of course Kamui as the pick. This is a very popular map. Kind of surprised that both of the players protect one of the more older maps of the pool, and this is very weird, very mess up mapping, high BPM compared to most tech as well, but it's not exactly very dense. That's why despite the BPM, it's still inside the technical pool.
Yeah, it's very quote-unquote slippery for a Mysterian map. It's like very, very whimsy. There are lots of weird releases and weird patterns and weird gimmicks in this map as a whole. We'll see how that affects the scores of ParasolTree and DarkMew. We know that all those players have the same ratio abilities on like quote-unquote normal maps, but this one is a little bit less normal, so we'll see.
I would say this one is kind of more on the CO1, CO2 train, where a lot of players are trying their best to avoid or ban them unless it's a match between a clear density player against a clear tech player. Then this map would 100% get picked, because usually weirder players like to play these kind of like weirder maps in general, and usually they benefit on these sort of maps, and they're up against more straightforward density players. ParasolTree is a very all-around player though. So DarkMew2 will still have a huge wall to climb, despite them being a more technical side of a player. And ParasolTree right now, it's in the lead by a tiny bit though. Some 200s being dropped from them is going to make this back to obviously close to even pace. Probably only 196 points difference for now.
Yeah, right now ParasolTree looking to perhaps come up with a PB on their own. They looked really locked in for this match in particular. They know how high the stakes are, and they are amping up the ratio and accuracy ability, just minimizing the 200s as they go. But DarkMew is right on their tail, 0.02% difference. Here's a accuracy drop, another accuracy drop, widening the gap between the two players.
Back to what we saw at the start of the map, around the 0.04% difference, and that's all it takes. That's literally like 2 to 3 200s being dropped from a single pattern, and it will instantly flip towards to the other player. ParasolTree still holding on about 1,000 points, and he is still keeping in the lead and might possibly able to break point, and will be a fantastic break point for them. On the last 5% of the map, he just has to hold on to the last part, and do believe he is actually extending to a 4-digit scoring difference, and that is going to be it. They are not dropping this final part at all, and we will be on to a 3-1. ParasolTree successfully breaks DarkMew2's point.
Oh, that is absolutely tragic for DarkMew. Losing on their own protect, because that was DarkMew2's protect as well. Having the clear ratio advantage on this pick in particular, but getting 4 more 200s, unfortunately. I feel like ParasolTree in this match in particular is really, really locked in on minimizing the 200 count, unfortunately, for DarkMew2. But it is all to their advantage. And speaking of advantage, I feel like Integral Cube is not only a pick where a low 200 count is gonna play a huge role in getting the victory, but also keeping the combo alive.
Well, this map is also quite technical, but like more on the weird side because of the flow of the map being kind of awkward. The whole map is just anti-flow. A lot of like anchors, anti-flow anchors throughout the entire map with shield in the middle as it transitions to the another flow. So it just plays very weird. After all, it's back in, I'll say 4 years old map, but you probably can correct me better on a pick like this. But mapped by Juan Crystal, so you know this map is kind of old, knowing that he's a very big name before.
Yeah, absolutely. Like this was mapped specifically for a 4DM. I wouldn't say 4DM4, but I could be wrong. But it's like one of the grand finals pick, and now we will see it resurfaced for a Rana 16 within a tournament. It's funny how time passes and goes.
Yeah, it's kind of maybe also be overshot for that tournament as well, as knowing that this map is giving a lot of trouble to even these higher ranked players. So cannot imagine how FortiTree playing some of these type of maps though. Even though I would say tech map kind of doesn't necessarily mean higher rank can play it, because they require a bit of a more niche skill sets that some of the PP farmers may not be focused on some of these sort of maps. So for now, DarkMew2 will be the one in the lead by quite a margin, but he finds a break there.
Hello!
Oh,
Why? Why would this happen? I was talking about combo, like keeping the combo alive on this particular pick, but no, like DarkMew is gonna fall prey to the first combo break of the entire match, I believe.
You were correct in that case, because this is the first miss we saw from both of these players. ParasolTree, usually known for FCing absolutely everything, kind of like IMEE, but in China team instead, was able to keep up to FCing Mania World Cup finals until grand finals. Just a little bit too difficult for them. But other than that, he is known to keep the FCs, and he is keeping it for this entire match, FCing 4 maps, and this might be the 5th map to go for him.
Yeah, so it is still on ParasolTree's camp right now. Like this pick in particular was calculated by ParasolTree, but imagine if DarkMew was able to maintain this 99.8 accuracy. We're gonna see in the end what it could have been, but another miss coming from DarkMew2 in the end. Very difficult map to full combo.
Yeah, and that is going to be it. 17,000 points difference, and despite the first time we see an actual better ratio from DarkMew2, but a huge miss from them, 5 misses from that one break really hurts their score. And of course, DarkMew2 instantly going back to the technical free pick, and we have been just seeing every single coordination and technical pick. These players do not want to touch the latter half of the pool.
Yeah, they are. I feel like DarkMew2 especially is a very early game oriented player. Cannot really speak for ParasolTree. I feel like ParasolTree kind of wakes up starting mid game, and we are inching on mid game because like Rana 16 map was like fairly hard, so it could count as mid game already.
Yeah, I do believe he is a guy that is focused on more of like mid-size, not exactly the highest ratio guy, but ask this guy to FC and he will do it for you until it gets very hard. So probably not some of the like MWC Grand Final levels picks you were able to hold on, like we're again seeing in IMDD case, which were able to basically FC most of the maps inside Grand Final pool. But he's the type of guy who is more like FCing finals and very consistent about it. And he has been very consistent throughout the entire match. So one of the greatest pick of the map pool, and quite different compared to all the other technical picks. You can see some of these like patterns which will be weirder to read for these players.
Yeah, so we are coming back to the weird maps, and is this the type of weird map that ParasolTree is going to be able to handle? For now, the answer is going to be through the advantage of ParasolTree that is very, very small, however, compared to DarkMew2's accuracy right now. And we are coming into the QI. How is this accuracy going to progress throughout the map?
Still keeping in by about 200 points difference, and the 200 points difference is nothing, but I mean, winning by a hair is a hair. We did see a 5 points win from one of our commentators earlier this morning, so winning by a tiny bit is still winning by a point, and you need all it takes to win a point. All the advantage it gets halfway through the map, though this map does not really spike, so it's consistent the whole way through. They just need to hold on. It won't be a sudden choke point for any of these players to miss on.
Now we're going into the breakdown right now. ParasolTree does build up the lead to 0.04% difference between the two players. That is a comfortable cushion, all things considered. We've seen other points where it was much tighter, so we'll call that comfortable, but it's not comfortable at all. One single miss, or maybe two or three 200s, and it's going to be the end of the line for ParasolTree, but right now only a quarter of the map left.
Yeah, it seems like the clock has been ticking for ParasolTree. He is not dropping a lot of accuracy as well, and he's still keeping at 95.77, and actually building up accuracy since then, and may successfully move on to the winners bracket quarterfinals. Just shows that why he is 9th seeded. You still have the last 10% of the map, the last chorus left to hold on, but seemingly he is going to be take the last breakpoint.
What is going on with ParasolTree's accuracy? We haven't seen ParasolTree be that locked in terms of accuracy up until this point, but DarkMew not giving up at all, still on the full combos, building up to 99.74, but that's not going to be enough. And the final scores for this last point are going to be 992.2k and 991.7k. Not much difference to speak of. The ratio difference is going towards ParasolTree in terms of advantage for once. That's pretty surprising. But like 1/200 was not enough. Like 1/200 difference was not enough for DarkMew to get this point. But yeah, commiserations for our French player, and congratulations for ParasolTree for making it to the mid game, and may their combo ability lead them to late game, hopefully.
Absolutely, ParasolTree, after all, like I mentioned, very consistent. It does show a bit of inconsistent last match, which last match he got very close against Very Sour, dropping quite a lot lower score, 980k mostly, which making him lost a lot more points. He's also dropping a lot of misses last weekend, but seemingly this player is back on form, and he is here to win it and maybe start cleaning the lower brackets, knowing how high his seeds are, and might possibly able to clean up to the quarterfinals weekend. But yeah, commiserations to DarkMew2. Thanks for participating in this tournament, giving us a very close match yesterday against Arrow. But unfortunately, this is also a very close match on the scores, but not the actual number, the points of the match. We do see the brackets right here, and we'll see where ParasolTree moves on. Yeah.
Okay, my mic is now on this scene. ParasolTree is going to verse Fomelt, fellow Asian player, and a very, very fierce opponent here. So it's going to be a very interesting match to see in the quarterfinals map pool. But what do I hear in the background? What are they doing? They are actually playing the tiebreaker as a bonus.
Alright, let's go. We'll see how it turns out. Yesterday, DarkMew2 dropping a lot of combo in the middle sections, or even at the this start of the map. Really, the density really troubles them a lot. We'll see will they actually do better. ParasolTree also getting a 989k yesterday. Not exactly the best scores they could achieve on. We might see an actual 990. Look at how locked in they are, and they definitely need to lock in next weekend against his fellow, I believe, Chinese teammate in Mania World Cup. Correct me if I'm wrong though, but yeah, 9th seed versus 10th seed in the quarterfinals. To achieve top 16 only, and this is what happens when you get some upsets like that happen. So we see a very close seeding match, or at the closest you can get for ParasolTree next weekend.
Yeah, like this tiebreaker is definitely going to be a preview of how ParasolTree is going to scale to the quarterfinals map pool, because like this tiebreaker itself is like harder than the mainstay map pool, and DarkMew definitely had some trouble on an actual tiebreaker against Aero yesterday, and yeah, right now just not doing the best against ParasolTree. We see like the biggest difference we've seen in terms of accuracy between the two players, and I wonder what kind of score is ParasolTree going to be able to provide us. Probably a 992k or something.
Now, right now he is definitely on his road to get 990k. Speaking of which, yesterday, ParasolTree did win the match by 5-3 from 5-4, which is actually like.
Yeah,
really crazy.
It is a tiebreaker.
It was tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I just realized both of the
Literally,
players reached the tiebreaker.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the kind of clutch they had to go through to get here, and this is ParasolTree's victory lap right now.
We're on to the 150 BPM sessions. I believe it's 150 BPM. So double BPM-able part. With some shield as well, and there goes ParasolTree's full combo. It's gone, but we do see DarkMew2 breaking right before him as well. Actually twice, once in the dance sessions and second in the 1/3 transition part. So now back to even pace in terms of combo, but ParasolTree has already built up such a strong lead from the early parts of the map.
Oh, another combo break coming from ParasolTree, but I do feel like ParasolTree has let up the locking in, because ParasolTree definitely locked in during the part of the match that actually mattered, like reaching the 5 points to get to the victory here. But here it is the victory lap, the adrenaline is off, and right now ParasolTree can definitely afford to miss without any consequences. So we may see some even better results on the quarterfinals map pool, but it is looking very promising in terms of physicality.
He does have to lock in though, because this is why we call this player to be very consistent throughout the entire tournament. He did lose some very early stage match, knowing that he is not the best in terms of ratio though. It could be the reason why, but yeah, his missing his miscount might a bit more common than what we expected from this player throughout this. Until this match, though, this match he was absolutely perfect, and I think he is here to win it. He definitely have a chance to beat to take off former Mount, his teammates in another tournament. We do see DarkMew2 missing again on the final chorus dance session, so it's not over just yet. There's still a hard part left at the final part of the map.
Yeah, we'll see if DarkMew can get a personal best on this tiebreaker, which definitely looks to be the case. I feel like DarkMew is feeling a lot better than yesterday. I feel like yesterday DarkMew did run into like some troubles keeping track of the play field and keeping combo in good accuracy, but. Like this match, like DarkMew in this match in particular really looked pretty locked in and did provide a very, very substantial challenge to ParasolTree. It might have been a 5-1 but the points that we saw were very close together, and especially in ratio.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say the fact that he doesn't have to play density plagues every 2 picks in a row also helps a lot. And to see his scores rise up quite a bit as well at the final part of the map. Nobody breaks the hardest, the densest section of the map. So we're gonna see ParasolTree achieving a very good score. 986 actually beats out yesterday's score still, despite quote unquote not really locking in, missing more than yesterday. But you know, the accuracy count, it's actually a huge improvement in that regard.
Yeah, DarkMew yesterday with 25 misses, which was really funny as a final result to win the match against Aero. Imagine winning with 25 misses. That is like really funny to me. But yeah, that is going to be a personal best for DarkMew, and a very, very scary score coming from ParasolTree. Only 15,200s coming from them. And yeah, looking forward to what they can provide us for the quarterfinals. Right now, let's do.
Yes, it will be in 22 minutes, and after that match, we will have our final match of the weekend, which is going to be the Mexican Civic War, Senzawa versus Darkhansa. So definitely check that out in 20 UTC. And remember to check out tomorrow's Mapu Showcase at 14 UTC. It will be broadcast live for both the English and Chinese version on in the same time, the first time ever in this tournament. So be sure to come back at 14 UTC if it's the next 2 match or a bit too late for you. And it was a very nice cast with you, Patu.
Yeah, very nice to cast with you as well. Thank you for the assist while I was streaming this match as well. And yeah, we'll see each other another time. Peace out.
Yep. See you then.